Hi everybody, it's time for Tariff Talk with Tim, and you're watching Cigars Daily. Hey, get more out of this video when you join the community on Cigars Daily Plus or when you watch it on Rumble. Well, it is early in the morning at the Cigars Daily HQ on April 3rd, which means yesterday was our president's Liberation Day, a day that made a lot of people sort of upset. And the truth be told, in the cigar industry, people have been asking me, are we going to get tariffs on cigars? And I said, no, it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. It sounds like we're going to get tariffs on Canada and Mexico and China. No one's talking about tariffing cigars. After all, in my mind, it didn't seem like there were a tremendous amount of cigar jobs to bring back to America anyway. I couldn't have been more wrong. My gosh. Yesterday, we got profound and sweeping tariffs on many things, and now it seems like it very well may impact the cigar industry in no small way. And so today, I want to take you through this. What does this look like? And to do this, I have got the Foundation Charter Oak Bagnataro, a cigar that celebrates being a grandfather for Nick Melillo's grandfather over at Foundation, and one of the cigars that seems like tariffs could very well impact it, which was not hard to find because right now it seems like that's probably any cigar. So I'm going to tell you today everything we know and everything we don't know about what's going on with these so you can know what to expect. My hope is that by the end of this video, it takes away a little bit of stress or anxiety or frustration if those are the things that you're feeling about what tariffs might very well do. I have heard everybody say that tariffs are going to be a tax on the American people, which is not technically true, but in a way definitely seems like it very well could be true. The truth is, tariffs are going to be a tax on everything that other countries are sending into our country. And when it comes to premium cigars, basically everything comes from other countries. And some of the tariffs on other countries were really high, like the tariffs on China. Some of them seemed lower, like tariffs on a lot of other countries. China's tariffs are up in like the 36, 37 percentile. I should really look this up. I should know exactly what it is. At the top end of the list, tariffs on China are going to be 34%. Now, this is on top of some tariffs that are already on China, so it's more than that in total. The good news for you in the cigar world is that we get to benefit from both the most tariffs and the least tariffs. And when I say benefit, that's not what I mean. Now, let me lay this out for you. In the past, it's felt like with our government, the taxes have been a lot. I mean, if you have a dog, then you go and you get a piece of cheese out, and suddenly you turn around, the dog is sitting there, the dog wants a cheese tax. So you give the dog a small piece of your cheese. Living in America has felt like you go and you get the piece of cheese and you turn around and you have 4 dogs that all want the cheese tax because they all sit there with their big, giant, swelling, tearing up eyes. You give all the dogs some cheese and you get very little cheese left over. When it comes to these tariffs, they are putting tariffs on other countries, right now countries that make premium cigars. I think that the long-term idea is to reduce the taxes on Americans. And so instead of having 4 dogs sitting there looking for cheese, you go to the fridge to get cheese and the cheese costs you more to get. But when you turn around, there are less or ideally no dogs. But once again, that is a big, fat, huge speculation on how all this is going to work. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm your cigar guy. I don't know a lot about taxes or politics or tariffs, but here's what I do know very clearly. In the cigar world, we get to benefit from the highest tariffs and the lowest tariffs. We're going to get it on both ends, everybody, so buckle up. Here's what it looks like. The biggest country that got tariffs was China. Now, China is the one who manufactures, well, a lot of things in America. You probably don't even have to reach a full arm's length to find something in your vicinity right now that says Made in China on it. And when it comes to premium cigars, that's certainly a lot of things. I'm just sitting here on my desk and I'm looking at lighters and I'm looking at cutters. I've got a case that holds my little memory cards. I bet that was made in China. Here's a pen. Probably made in China. Maybe it was Vietnam. I don't know. Vietnam got tariffs too. The truth is, all of our accessories in the cigar world, or nearly all of them, are currently made in China. And so that has already impacted accessory manufacturers a huge deal. I've been speaking with my friends who have accessory companies like Jetline, which makes some amazing everyday accessories for cigars, and the cost on his containers have gone up quite a bit. And when I say quite a bit, I mean on a container, a shipping container, this can be tens of thousands of dollars. So it goes up quite a bit. That's really on the high end. You'll see things jump up on ashtrays and lighters and cutters, humidors, electric humidors, and the lot, even if you're looking for those things on Amazon. Now, that's the top tier of these things. The next one is the one that really kind of caught me off guard, and that was tariffs on cigar making countries. You see, the tariffs that we're seeing today are really all the way across the board on just about every country that imports into the United States. And to start off with our tariffs, I got a text from my importer yesterday, and he said, "It's official, 18% on Nicaragua." Now, I don't know if that's the tone he was using, but that's the tone I like to imagine him using. But that's the truth is, my importer has got his eyes squarely focused on exactly how this is going to go, and Nicaragua tariffs us 36 or 37%, and so the tariff on Nicaragua is half of that. In addition to that, Honduras and the Dominican Republic both also received a 10% tariff, sort of like the blanket amount put on a lot of the other countries, which at this point means that premium cigars look like they very well may have tariffs applied to them, or very well will have tariffs applied to them. And I'm still being sort of opaque about this. I'm not saying, cigars are going to get tariffed. And there's a few reasons for this. And that's kind of what I want to lay out for you. The first one has to do with how you could expect a tariff to affect the end value of a cigar. And then the other thing is, are cigars going to get tariffed? Let me just touch on those two things very briefly. Now, first of all, people talk about tariffs on things like it's a tax. And I made the point that it's not a tax because it works a little bit differently. When you go to the store and you buy, I don't know, something, a shirt, you pay tax. There's a federal tax, there's a state tax, there might even be a city tax, there might even be a cheese tax if you have your dog with you. But at the end of the day, that tax is a percentage of the price. Here where I'm sitting in Phoenix, the tax is 8.65% on basically anything that I get. And that's 8.65% of the sales price. So if I buy something that's exactly $10, I should expect to pay 86.5 cents or something like that. But that's not really the way a tariff works. Tariffs add an extra percentage to the cost of goods from the manufacturer at the border. So in the world of premium cigars, here's what a tariff will look like. The factory in Nicaragua or the Dominican Republic or wherever the factory is sends the cigars from the factories to the United States border. When they get there, what is listed is a factory price for making the cigar. That is the actual cost of goods. The cost of the cigar should be low as possible when it comes into the country. Once it gets sent from there to the border and it goes through the FDA and customs and all of these things, it goes off to the manufacturer. From the manufacturer, it goes to your retailer based on a different price, based on a different cost. This cost is called the wholesale cost. Then the manufacturer marks it up again, and that's when the retailer purchases it at wholesale price. And so that's still not even the shelf price. Now the tariffs have already been paid, but it goes to the retailer on wholesale price where they give a regular markup and then it's set at the consumer price. So it's not like if there's an 18% tariff on a Nicaraguan cigar that the price of that cigar is going to go up by 18%. It may go up by some very small portion of that, and cigars do have, in many cases, drastically different profit margins on them and wholesale prices and factory costs and things like that. So you're going to have to sort of see how this plays out if that's the way it plays out. We don't authentically know. The truth is, as we look down the road, there has been so much uncertainty when it comes to tariffs on cigars and everything else that really all you can say is if this happens. A lot of the tariffs that have been spoken about already haven't been implemented, and many have been negotiated down or in some cases completely away. And as we go forward into these sweeping drastic tariffs, it very well may go exactly how it seems. But it could also go differently. It's possible that cigars get carved out for no tariff at the border, but it's also possible that they do. It's possible that the tariffs get reduced, but it's also possible that they don't. And this is kind of a personal thing for me that I hope is helpful because, like a lot of you, I spend a lot of time trying to figure out what's going on in the world and trying to understand those things based on what's on the internet, which is just one of the worst ways to try to understand the world today. But the truth is, I try to be very weary of any information source whose headlines especially, but also the article, is filled with news that uses these words: perhaps, could, should, might, can, maybe, going to, possibly. Like, these are all words that are news about something that may or may never occur. And they say something like 80% of the things we worry about never actually happen anyway. I'm not saying that tariffs aren't going to happen. What I'm saying is that it may not be the impact that you think it is. I've heard some people talk about the way tariffs work is that some manufacturers can go back to their factories and demand better pricing rather than passing tariff prices directly along to the consumer. Seems like there are some places where that cost will get passed directly along to the consumer. If you didn't already know, every cigar out there has the cost of S-chip, which is the federal excise tax on a cigar, is wrapped into the price of cigar. People have been paying it forever. The only brand that didn't do that in America, as far as I know, is Perdomo cigars, because Nick Perdomo's told me like 4 times that they ate S-chip when it came out. So there are different ways of doing these things, and everybody's going to explore the best way to do it, because at the end of the day, the market in America is still all about value. What brand and what company can provide the best value to the consumer who is looking for a great deal? And there is a great amount of competition in the market, so everybody's going to have to fight that fight. It's not like everybody's just going to jack their prices up through the roof and say, well, tough. Suck it, everybody. I mean, that's what it sort of seems like if you listen to the news out there these days. And so you can put your comments and your questions down below. I would love to interact with you guys there, respond to those things, and see what you have to say. What's your input? Are you worried about this? Are you not worried about it? There is a lot to be learned here, and quite frankly, a lot that we still don't know and that nobody knows. And of course, I want to encourage you to check this video out on the community on Cigars Daily Plus and on Rumble. And thanks again for watching. This is Tim, signing off for Cigars Daily, and I will see you in the comments.